we're in a section of 1 John. 1 John is this letter that John is writing to this church. And we notice right off the bat, one of the things that happens with 1 John is that he is writing this letter to this church that's having issues and problems and so forth. Because John wrote John. I'll be here till Thursday. Thank you very much. Okay. Love comes from God. And everyone who loves is born of God and knows God, because God is love. When we start to understand that when we experience love, when I see love between two people, when I see love for people, it's like I see God. And so John is calling this church, this young church, back to this idea of like, what is this love? How do we experience, how do we understand it? Come back to this love. Not long ago, I was asked to go up to Washington, D.C. in the winter. And we were going to go up and participate in the National Memorial for the homeless people that have died on the street that year. And it's pretty sobering, the idea of going up to Washington, D.C. and being with 300 to 400 other people. And it was freezing cold, and it was horrible, and I didn't want to go. I had so many other things to do. My agenda just didn't have room for it. And the more and more I put it off, the more and farther I got, and the closer it came time, the more and more my agenda cleared up. Things disappeared off my agenda. Things that I felt like I had to do just went away. And so I said, okay, fine, I will go up there. I will do it. And so Arnold Abbott, who ran Love Thy Neighbor, and Sean, who runs the Homeless Voice, we flew up together to participate in this service. And so we met in downtown D.C., and it was late, and it was getting cold, and it was gray, and it was not good, and I'm from Florida, so I don't know how to dress. And so I'm freezing and I'm cold, and we get in front of this big, big fire that's going in this kind of big oil bucket of some sort, and they've got it so that people can get warm. And I'm standing around with probably 300 other people, and I'm warming myself like this, and one of the homeless guys comes over, and another one comes over, and another guy, and we're talking. And suddenly this guy comes up behind me, and he like leans into me, and I'm going like, hey man, how you doing? How things going? And he's like, not good. Okay. He said, well, he said, are you a priest? I said, no. And he said, what's with the collar? I said, well, I'm a pastor, you know. And he's like, I hate you, man. I hate you. I hate you. And he starts to get in my face. And I'm thinking, this guy is going to beat me up. And I'm thinking, you know, and so when your head slows down and all the thoughts go through you, what would it look like to have a pastor at a homeless thing punch a homeless man? And I just kind of kept an eye on him all night long, like, where is this guy? And I don't want him behind me. And when we got through this, we walked inside to have a meal together. And God is so good. God is like, God's got it down, pat. So we walk inside, and I get my meal, you know, and I walk over, and I'm looking at where can I sit to eat. And the only table that's open is with this homeless guy that threatened me earlier. And I thought, you know, I don't know. Either this is the stupidest thing I've done in a while, or maybe this is what God wants me to do. And we finally connected. And I think the one thing that he did at the end that I think it was a test of, you know, like, are you real for real? You know, are you really real? Was he had a little bit of food left on his plate. And he said, hey, I got a little bit of food. Would you like it? And I thought, okay, he wants to see if I'm going to eat after him. This is a test. And I'm thinking, this is a good test because Dwayne doesn't want to do this. But I took a bite of his food. I said, that's good, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. We walked outside, and we laughed, and we prayed, and we left. And I finally figured out as I was coming home, I said, God, did you take me all the way there so that I would have this connection to this person that had been hurt for 30-some years and is on the street? And God knows, I don't know if that's why he's on the street, but maybe that was a point of healing, that you grew my heart large enough to share your love with him. This is where it all starts. And John is pulling us back to saying, that's where it all starts. The bottom line is God is love. It's why we have that flag out there that says, love wins, period. That we truly believe that this is a place of love. That when you come here, you experience that love and you take it out with you. Just take a little bit of that love with you and go out there and pour it out into this world. Pour it out into the world, into the person who's behind you, who's driving and is upset that you're in that lane driving at 30 miles an hour. As they go by and they give you a salute of some sort, you say to them, God bless you, man. Take care. Drive safe. It is so important we pour this love out. So we end this service today with a song. And then after that song, we will tell everybody online, thank you for being with us. And then we're going to stand together and we're going to do a blessing over Kathy before she leaves. So let's start by standing and singing, Come Thou Fount of Many Blessings.